listening to Lightwolf Productions. Please be sure to like and subscribe to his channel.
Hey usins, what's the crack? It's me, Hayden, and I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I never really had the time due to schoolwork, exams, and overall just pure busyness in my life. Today I'll be talking about a YouTuber known as Diggin Cringe. She's a moderately big YouTube channel with around 41k subs and is known for being part of the cringe comp community. And quite frankly, she's one of the only ones left in the cringe comp community. Pretty much everyone has left. Tori Sakura has moved on to actually going on and trying to animate. Grizon, I'm not even sure what he's doing. And yeah, you know about the others. Recently she made 2 videos within the past month on the animation meme community, on her opinions about it. Her opinion, keep that in mind as I make this video, as I give my opinion on her videos.
The problem I have with animation memes is the word animation.
So your problem isn't with animation memes themselves, but rather the fact that the animation is put in the name?
There's this thing called tweening that people do, which is basically where they take photos and make it look like they're moving. And yes, I do see this as a way of animation, because you can work just as hard on that as like frame by frame animation, and it'll still look as good. But there is a difference between tweening and just having a still image moving across the screen. With tweening, there are body parts moving, there are things happening.
You say you see tweening as being part of animation. In-betweening, or tweening, is a key process in all types of animation, including computer animation. It's the process of generating intermediate frames between 2 images called a keyframe, to give the appearance that the first image evolves smoothly into the second image. So, a picture moving on the screen from left to right would still be considered tweening. There are different types, and the one I think you are referring to as tweening, quote unquote, is actually what is known as motion tweening. Also, tweening is still used in frame-by-frame animation. Coming from someone who's actually trying to do an animation project for school next year, frame-by-frame uses keyframes, which we can considered as part of the storyboard / animatic, and then uses frames in between to create the illusion of movement. In between. In-betweening. Tweening.
But with just images on a screen, there's just a character. It moves. Another picture does something. It doesn't really have anything really going on there. Nothing interesting.
Pretty sure pictures moving across the screen is still known as motion tweening. And in fact, there are good examples of motion tweened animations. For example, Casual Susan's latest animation meme, her Rise and Shine animation, it uses a lot of motion tweens and is framed quite well in my opinion. That is not boring, but you're different, I guess.
Even if it is good art does not equal a good animation meme.
Now, I can agree that good art does not always equal good animation, because although people can have an amazing art style and it looks pretty good, their animations can be a bit choppy. For example, in a lot of Stariat's older content, her animations are quite choppy. Her animations were actually the first time I found one of my favorite animation memes, the I Do Love You meme.
This is a picture of Hattie I drew for her birthday, which was April 8th. And I drew this in like 10 minutes. And I would consider this to be good, I guess. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate it like a 4 or a 5. Decent.
Didn't know we were rating art now. I thought this was a video on the animation meme community.
And if you tell me this is not boring, then you have problems.
That's not boring, although it could have been framed a little bit better.
That's another thing with animation. There could be like frame by frame animation, good animation.
Frame by frame animation is good in your opinion. Honestly, you need to tell your audience it's good in your opinion, otherwise it just seems you're being elitist towards just frame by frame, rather than showing that there are good examples of tweened animation as well as frame by frame. You personally like frame by frame better, but you see, it's all part of the same type of medium, it's just a different style of animation.
And I will be using Sleepy King Q. You know who I'm talking about.
Sleepy Kink.
I'll be using his video as an example. This is his Nightmare Parade meme. If you look at the animation, you'd say, it's pretty good. It's not that bad. It's pretty alright. But then, for a good majority of the video, he loops it, and it's boring.
Here's the thing. You're using an older video of his. Oh, Hayden, you use Starryat's old video. Can you calm down? I stated it was an older videos of her, and said how she has improved, rather than how she goes on about how his Nightmare Parade animation is looped. But the thing is, it's meant to be looped. That's the whole point of that animation meme. Following her Sleepy Kink section, she shows how she's not the best at animation and shows a flip-a-clip not flip-a-clip animation. Why did I even say that?
Interesting. Nothing interesting is happening. It's just the same thing repeated over and over. Like, I've already seen this. I kind of want to see something new happen. For Sleepy King's video, I would recommend adding more movement.
Yes, it is a stick person. Yes, Sleepy King uses his style and his form of anatomy for his one, but you're not stating why yours would seem as better in terms of animation and not in terms of art.
Also, I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video. I know that not all people in the animation meme community are like this. This is just my opinion, and there's a lot of opinions on the internet. Please don't attack me in the comments.
Luckily, in her second video, she states at the very beginning that it is opinionated. Now, I want to say yes. Maybe there are people who do things like 3-frame, looped, flip-a-clip, and Mobizen animations, but the thing is, most of them are young children just beginning with art. Give them time and they'll improve tremendously. Shit upon them for having a 3-second looped animation and they'll never want to improve or even give up entirely. Think about Rosali for a second. She began YouTube at 2011 and her animations look to be entirely done in MS Paint with a basic style. Fast forward 7 years later and look where she is now. Yes, give them critique, but don't flat out tell them, oh, this is boring and shit.
Judging by the animation, as the animation meme I'm using as an example, the animation is not anything special. It's not that good.
Now, with the floppy ears animation, I can agree to an extent that it's, in my opinion, a lazy animation meme. I'm going to use my friend Ayana's version. It's quite fluid, but the thing is, with most of the floppy ears animation memes, they all tend to just only animate the ears, which yes, is the point, but you need to at least make the body not static. I study film, if you haven't already seen from my YouTube, and I know one thing's for sure, your audience won't enjoy just seeing ears move on a static body. Like, how does the body relate to the ears? Why are they flopping? These questions should be answered in your animation.
If you're using animation memes to practice, wouldn't you want to add actual animation? Instead of just like mostly pictures, just a little minimal movement. If you're doing it for practice, wouldn't you want to try things that you don't usually animate?
I do agree with her on animation memes being for practice and should be a way of getting out of your comfort zone, because that's the truth. If they're for practice, step out of your comfort zone, and if they're for fun, fair enough, but you will still expect criticism.
Like, if you do cooking for fun, okay? But oh, you can't criticize it. I'm doing it because it's fun. You can't tell me my food is bad. It's for fun. No, if you use this as an excuse, then you're heckin' retarded. I'm sorry, you're retarded. That is a stupid excuse.
I don't exactly like her analogy though. If food is good, it's good. Sure, presentation is important, but the thing is, that's only if you're trying to be a cook for a restaurant. Gordon Ramsay would have your ass if he wasn't presented right. I'm sorry, but calling people retarded for saying, "Oh, this is for fun." It's a little too far. It just adds insult to injury when giving critique, if I'm honest.
Some people do this pretty well, but for example, Ghostface Nicole, she isn't exactly the best at tweening. I think she should stick to like hand-drawn animation, like frame by frame. I think she's much better at that.
She talks about Ghostface Nicole using tweening and then tells her to stick to frame by frame. Well, digging up Cringe, you have just gone against your point of going outside of your comfort zone, and to be honest, her animations that are tweened still look good. To make this all even more funny, Sleepy Kink even commented on her video explaining why animation memers do their animations and how Digging Up Cringe thinks that they do it for the people rather than for themselves. And you see, that's the thing I can agree with Sleepy Kink on, is they're purely just animating for themselves because it's a hobby. Unless they're doing it for like being professionals and want to go down into the animation career path and go into things like Disney or some animation company, then yeah, they could do better. But the thing is, most of them are just hobby artists, like myself. To conclude, you do have some good points, but they're not really shown throughout the other biases you have within the two videos. I'd say, in the future, whenever you're making opinionated videos, and I know you did it on your second one, but just for further more, always say that they're your opinion, because otherwise you will have people in the comment section that go on saying, "Oh, why are you doing this? No, this is perfect. Why are you saying these things, huh?" Until then, this has been Hayden, signing off. Thank you and goodbye.